Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by Flurry Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Bruner and the rest of the Flurry Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee. Welcome back to Flurry Sports. And every single Wednesday night, again, from now until probably the Super Bowl, maybe even after, we are going to be live here on pretty much every social platform. So we are even live on TikTok right now. However, apparently we can't see TikTok comments on the stream. So because that's something TikTok's doing. It's not even, I don't understand. But if you're over on TikTok, I at least have it pulled up so you can ask comments and we should be able to hear it or read it. But tonight we're just going to do what we did last week. We're going to kind of bop around the country. We're going to bop around training camp here. And we have some bigger news stories that we've organized here to talk about for fantasy football. But if you have any questions, definitely ask them and we'll put priority on that. But a lot of these are going to center around draft value and stuff like that. We're going to compare a lot of ADP tonight. And obviously this is August 5th. So from now until draft season, a lot of people are drafting like literally a month from now. A lot of time for players to move in terms of ADP. And I know it's number 2 on the list, but let's start with someone who last week, Luke, I mean, what exactly happened was exactly what I said. And then we talked about how far could he rise in ADP, and that's Stefon Diggs. So it wasn't a matter of when or if, or it wasn't a matter of if. We knew Stefon Diggs was going to go to Washington. That wasn't a secret, even though no one was really talking about it at that point. He was there. That's how I talked to somebody. He was there. So he is now with Washington. He's the wide receiver 2 in Washington, and he has been going undrafted in fantasy leagues for the most part. 127 overall on Sleeper, but on Fantasy Football Calculator, which is what I'll use for pretty much every other ADP, wasn't even mentioned. So low, not drafted. We kind of have to figure out where he is going to be drafted, and we can kind of dictate where that's going to be in the conversation, because now it's all up in the air. Now it's going to be people are doing their mock drafts and dictating where he should go. So for comparison's sake, Terry McLaurin has been going wide receiver 21, which is 42 overall. We like Diggs less than McLaurin, right?
Yeah, probably.
Like, I'm just trying to set the boundaries here of where he could potentially go.
For fantasy football, yes. I mean, as an NFL player, that's a different conversation. But
well, I mean, we can take a step back then. So Stefon Diggs is a very, very good football player, right?
Correct.
And we talked a million times over, whether it be here, Lombardi Sweep, or wherever, where it's like the top guy is the top guy. But if you're a really good wide receiver 2 and you're not seeing top coverage, you have a chance to really fucking thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Stefon Diggs is the wide receiver 2 there.
Okay.
Where does he rank among wide receiver 2s in the NFL?
Certainly top half, top 10, probably. Top 5 is maybe. Top 2, probably not. So somewhere in that 3 to 8 range is somewhat I would say.
Well, I mean, Dallas has a better wide receiver 2, right?
Yep.
George Pickens or
Cincinnati.
And you can talk. Is he worse than T. Higgins or better than T. Higgins? I'm not sure.
For fantasy football, I think he's worse than T. Higgins.
I'm talking real life right now.
For real life, I think he's worse than T. Higgins right now.
Okay. So that's 2. Tampa's doesn't have anyone better. Seattle doesn't have anyone better. San Francisco doesn't have anyone, period.
Rams are better.
That's 3. Steelers, I would say Michael Pittman's not better, right?
Probably not.
Eagles don't have a 2 better. Jets don't have a 2 better. Giants
Vikings,
do not. Vikings probably do. I think Addison's
Bears.
pretty comparable to Addison.
I
I would
agree.
say I would say Diggs is miles ahead of Luther Burden
Agree. Okay, I agree with you on that.
or Roma Dunze. I guess you could argue who
Lions.
the wide receiver 2 is there. What do we think about Jameson Williams?
I love Jameson Williams ever since he came into the league and said if I ran the 40-yard dash, I would run the fastest ever. So you guys know how much I love speed. So I love Jameson Williams. I think he's like a top 20 receiver in the NFL.
Okay, Trevor, do you disagree? Seems like you do.
I do disagree. Speed, I mean, we've seen it before. I mean, he's just in between John Ross and actually being a wide receiver 1, in my opinion. Like,
Not a bad spot to be.
I know you can say that about a lot of people, but like, without speed, what is he? I haven't seen it yet. I'm sure he can be great. He's shown flashes, but like you can't just show it to me for a couple plays for a couple games every year and then expect me to believe you can do it for 17 games on a season.
Jameson Williams is also really, really fun because he's the ultimate gamble, right, in fantasy football. And I guess that kind of coincides with
Off the
Sam
field
Laporta.
too.
Yeah, right. But that kind of coincided with Sam Laporta being hurt last year, where Jameson Williams like really came alive, and Dan Campbell really made an effort to get him the ball. But on any given week, you're either getting 25 out of Jameson Williams or you're getting 0, which is really stressful when you draft him. But it's really awesome when it hits. So I'm all in for that.
That's true. Petzing, the new OC there, it sounds like they want to use him like on a consistent basis. He's not just to take the top off. And apparently he's been working a ton this offseason in order to do that in the intermediate routes and all of that. So I think he'll be more reliable this year, but truthfully, we haven't seen it. So who the hell knows? Yeah, there aren't a ton other ones. I think Denver, you could make an argument that maybe they're better than Stephon Diggs. That'd be Cortland Sutton. Cincinnati, we said. Chicago, you could argue. Carolina, no. Buffalo, no. Baltimore, no. So, I mean, I think he's firmly within the top 7.
Yeah, agreed.
You know what I mean? So he's very, very good. And I think I'm not a huge Terry McLaurin guy, but I think you could argue that he is just as good as Terry McLaurin. But I think McLaurin will see top coverage more often than not. I could see defenses just staying on their own side and not traveling with a receiver. But if Stephon Diggs is seeing the second best cornerback for the first time in his career, we saw what he could do last year, and I think he could be really good. And we've seen what he can do for quarterbacks, which makes me excited about Jayden Daniels. Finally, we talked about it last week too. I wasn't excited about Jayden Daniels, but now I'm at least going to be interested.
Right, that was going to be my point to talk about here is, yes, Stephon Diggs is great and he's worth a pick in fantasy, but it kind of feels like it's great for Jayden Daniels if you're going to take Jayden Daniels in fantasy, right? I've talked about how much Stephon Diggs is, helps young quarterbacks. This is another situation where I know we kind of saw the jump at the second half of the year into the playoffs last year for 2 years ago for Jayden Daniels, but it really feels like this is a year that Jayden Daniels can, solidify himself as, yeah, I'm one of the elite guys in the NFL. And with a guy like Stephon Diggs there, I'm not doubting that it'll happen.
So he's going quarterback 6. That's 71 overall. I would assume he rises after Diggs goes there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if he rises to quarterback 5, but I think he rises in terms of overall ADP. Are we buying that? Let's just say he's a 6th-round pick. Are you taking him in the 6th round?
I'm not. I like waiting on quarterbacks, and on top of that, he's incredibly talented. At the end of the day, he's still only done it for 1 season in the NFL, and he still has the injury risk that we saw throughout his entire college career as well. So incredibly talented, but also incredibly volatile. And I think they're like every year, there are always some sleepers in the 5th, 6th, 7th round that you can pick up that are going to be a little more worth it than Jayden Daniels versus the quarterback 7, 8, or 9.
Yeah, Trevor, I don't fully disagree with you on that, but I think if you do take Jayden Daniels in 6, like, you're not pissed about it at all. Like, you're going to get points out of him. You're going to get production from him. Whether that production stands up to, a guy that you can just leave in your flex all year, that's probably yet to be decided. But to your point, Trevor, I mean, Right, Zach, we talked about it last week. Like, where's the value in quarterbacks this year? And I think the value is where it always is. It's, it's the Jared Goffs, it's the Brock Purdy's, it's the Matthew Staffords of the world. But I mean, that's not to say that Jaden Daniels is obviously, has a higher ceiling than all those guys based on rushing ability. So I think you're fine to take him in the 6th round. But to your point, Trevor, if you don't, you're not, I don't think you're pissed off. If you do take him, I think you're happy. So I kind of happy medium there.
Yeah, this year is just, I mean, we've seen it in several years too, but this year especially, I have zero reason to reach for a quarterback anymore.
Right.
Like if they fall into my lap and I don't like anything else, I'm okay with it. But the fact that Jalen Hurts is going after him blows my mind.
Really?
Yes. I see zero reason why Jaden Daniels should go ahead of him.
Okay.
People hate Jalen Hurts, and you have to tell me why. It doesn't make sense. It's just blind hate. Because I can show you 5 clips to dispute anything you say. And then now you say AJ Brown's gone, and I say fine. Like I think they're a better offense this year than they were last year.
Here's my question to you guys, because I was looking at Stephon Diggs's career. It feels like, at least for me, like the thing has been like ever since he's gone to the Bills, he's gone down. Like the last few years, he's been washed. He's at 1,000 yards in 7 of the last 8 seasons. Where does he rank on the all-time receiving yards career leaders? Because to me, it's higher than expected, but it actually makes sense.
I mean, he's got to be right around 8,000, 9,000.
Right. Do you know how many years he's played? Probably 8-9 years.
So he has played since 2015. I'll tell you how many yards he has. He has 11,504. So you tell me where that ranks all time.
I mean, is that like top 20? Is that like 15-ish?
It's got to be.
It's 38th, which is closer than you think.
Okay.
But I think 15 is at 13,000, so he's close to that.
Yeah, they're all bunched.
Extra points. Can you guys tell me the receiver right above him? I will give you a hint. He is widely viewed as like one of the most talented wide receivers of all time.
Randy Moss.
No, it's got to be like Calvin Johnson.
He is like 100 yards away from Calvin Johnson, which Calvin Johnson played a lot less, but that's going to hurt when he passes them all time.
Well,
it is.
I mean, it's like NBA. DeMar DeRozan's at 26,000 points and like 12th all time.
Deserved. But yeah, so Jalen Hurts is going behind him. Brock Purdy will get his numbers. Matthew Stafford's at 9. Patrick Mahomes is at 11. Jackson Dart, when he's healthy, will be fine. He's at 12. Jared Goff's at 13. Caleb Williams is 14. Like, there's so many people. Baker is going to be fantasy relevant. He's going 17th overall. So
yeah, I think the name there that really has to make you think about, taking Jaden Daniels as 6 is Patrick Mahomes going at QB 10, right? I imagine that's, not everyone. People are probably scared off a little bit coming off an ACL, but I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. If you're telling me I get Jaden Daniels in the 6th round or Patrick Mahomes in the 8th to 9th round, I think Patrick Mahomes wins that battle 100 out of 100 times, right?
I would say so. There's people who really hate Patrick Mahomes this year. I'm not one of those people.
No.
But, I mean, so Mahomes is going 100 overall. Jaden Daniels is going 72 overall. So the question would be, would you rather have Jaden Daniels and Rachaad White, or would you rather have Patrick Mahomes and, I mean, it's kind of gross either way, Ramondre Stevenson? Or would you rather have Patrick Mahomes and Wan'Dale Robinson versus Jaden Daniels and Deebo Samuel?
First option.
Yeah. The running backs, I guess, are kind of gross either way. But wide receivers, I think there's a pretty big drop off. Deebo, we'll see if he's still going there. But after Deebo, it's Khalil Shakir, Jordan Addison, Xavier Worthy. So I think you can wait, and you can wait further than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Bo Nix is going to be perfectly fine. He's going 125 overall. That's after multiple defenses.
What do you think about Malik Willis? He was going QB 21 when I last looked.
Yeah, I don't consider the Miami Dolphins a NFL team, but
that's fair.
I do think he is going to have. I'll take him week 1. He plays the Raiders, I think. Something like that. Like, I'll take him when he's fully healthy. When he's not fully healthy, I want nothing to do with it.
Well, bringing up quarterbacks, I mean, the same thing as, we talked about him a little bit last year. Dak Prescott threw for 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 10 picks, and he's
Yeah.
probably not in the top 10 quarterbacks or right on the fringe.
Oh,
No,
I
I think
he's going ahead of Daniels.
Yeah,
Oh, he is? Okay. I didn't see that jump. That's good then. But
He's continued to trend up. It pissed me off too because I'm like, I love Dak Prescott this year, and like, oh, everyone else kind of understands Dak Prescott now. Usually he's undervalued, but yeah, he's up there. He's quarterback 5, just ahead of Daniels. So it's Josh Allen, Drake May, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Dak. Going back to Stephon Diggs, though, where do we think he can slot in at least among receivers? I'm just going to give you guys names and say who you like more or less. You say you like Terry McLaurin at 21 more than Stephon Diggs. That makes sense. Let's try to set a floor here.
Well, just last week, Zach, we talked about there's kind of that group of receivers that we talked about. If you draft a Jamar Chase or you draft a JSN, you can wait a very long time to pick up receivers because it feels like there's a lot of receiver value.
Yep.
It was kind of that Jordan Addison range, whatever that range is. It feels like he should be higher than that.
I agree. And since that conversation, I mean, Jordan Addison's still at wide receiver 48, which is too low. But Wan'Dale Robinson's up to wide receiver 34. I think he was down there. Would you rather have Wan'Dale or Stephon Diggs?
I like Wan'Dale. I'll go Stephon Diggs. I think Washington's behind more than Tennessee's behind this year.
That's interesting. That's a conversation for sure. Trevor, what do you think?
I'd go Diggs too.
Okay. So that Wan'Dale again, wide receiver 34. Let's go Cortland Sutton. He's another wide receiver 2. So Cortland Sutton at 29 or Stephon Diggs?
I still think Diggs. I don't know. Do you have a thought on that one?
Diggs.
What did you say, Luke?
Do you have a thought on that one? That one's close to me.
I've seen Cortland Sutton disappear too often.
Right.
I've seen Jalen Waddle disappear too often. Like the wide receivers for Denver, I'm almost fully stay away. Other than I like Pat Bryant a lot, and I think he's the only one with guaranteed snaps.
That's on top of Sean Payton is just known for getting every single person on his team involved too.
Yeah. So I would prefer, and there's just no one to push Stephon Diggs for wide receiver 2. So I think I would go Diggs, and I think he's going to demand the ball, and I think he deserves the ball. The one thing I haven't brought up yet, I brought it up last week, that does throw a wrench into everything is David Blau, who is the offensive coordinator. And I do not I didn't think they could do a step down from Cliff Kingsbury, and damn it, they did it. So do we believe that he is, what do we think? Does Washington get better? I have no fucking clue. He sucks.
It felt like Washington peaked 2 years ago, and it's going to go downhill, and they're going to be chasing that high for at least the Jaden Daniels tenure. Not that Jaden Daniels is going to be ousted, but at least for the next 4 or 5 years, we're going to be chasing that high, and Washington's probably going to sit at a 6-11 to 9-8 range for the next 5 years, in my mind.
I guess that's a good question to ask. So, someone brought it up earlier how Jaden Daniels was electric, obviously, to end his rookie season. And I think there's going to be some people saying that he's going to get right back to that after the Stephon Diggs addition. I don't think he's going to get there. I assume you guys, by the way you're talking, he's not going to be that hot, at least, right?
Probably not. I love Jaden Daniels. I'm probably a little biased. I like watching. I was rooting hard for them when he got hot. I think he has that capability, but to put my life on it, no, probably not. I mean, that was such a high that he got to.
Very high, right? Best rookie season of all time or whatever. Yeah. So probably not there. If we're saying Cortland Sutton is below Diggs and Sutton is at 29, I mean, he's a wide receiver 1. Do you like Alec Pierce more than him?
I think so.
Okay,
I think I like Alec Pierce.
He's one spot ahead of Sutton. So you like Diggs around 28, 29 overall, which I think
who's ahead of Alec Pierce?
Luther Burden.
I think that's a conversation.
Yeah, these guys, they're for sure all in the same tier for me.
Yeah.
So I think this is the right range for sure. Burden, I think, is going to be better on a per game basis. I think it's very unlikely he plays full season.
Agreed.
Ahead of Burden, DJ Moore, who I know you said you didn't like last night.
I get why people like him though.
I like him. Then it's Roma Dunze, Jalen Waddle,
Yeah.
Jamison Williams, Lad McConkey, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is the first name I read where I'm like, okay, very, very clearly ahead of Diggs.
That feels like the line.
Yeah, like I think that's the tier break probably. Terry's probably in a maybe he's not in a tier.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Because
It feels like on any given week, it's Terry's going for 100 and a touchdown or Diggs is going for 100 and a touchdown.
you're probably right. And I don't think they play that dissimilar of roles either, which is interesting. It's not like one is going to play the intermediate short role and one's going to take the top off. I think both can do it. So yeah, we'll see, I guess. But by golly, Traylon Burks is going to be underneath, so we'll see what happens there. And I also heard today Chika Conquo runs routes like a wide receiver. So
Been hearing that for 10 years.
I don't, maybe it's time to jump aboard. I also heard Zach Ertz is fully healthy, so I'm praying he goes back to Washington and just squashes Chika Conquo.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to really talk about with the Washington?
Are you excited if you're a Washington fan?
I think like so.
That you're getting up and you're like, yeah, we're pumped. We got Jaden Daniels back.
Well, Jaden Daniels back for sure. I think Stephon Diggs. I mean, if you're a Commanders fan, I'm guessing you're from the area. Right. I don't think there's going to be a ton of people elsewhere, and this is a homecoming. So I think bringing him home is a good thing. You know. Yeah. I don't know. He's a little bit of a head case, so that would be the only worry, I suppose. But
he's a manageable head case, though.
If you're winning.
Yeah.
Patriots were winning last year. That's why he could be the beacon of light, the leader, the mentor. If Jaden Daniels all of a sudden is throwing picks and they suck, Diggs is going to be a little different. It
is kind of funny to me that he leaves Minnesota. Everybody's like, oh man, what is Minnesota going to do now? And then they immediately bring in one of the most talented receivers we've seen in recent memory.
Yeah. And they kept Adam Thielen, thank God. You know, it chose Adam Thielen over Stephon Diggs. That was the conversation. Thank you, Mike Zimmer.
Yeah, right. Do it. Shout out Mike Zimmer, man.
Yeah. Mike Zimmer's like, why couldn't I have had this?
Right.
But they could have had Diggs and Jefferson, which would have been insane. That would have been great.
Let me ask you something. Does the NFC North have some of the most... Is it the division with the most nostalgic coaches? Like, put in Mike Zimmer... Brad Johnson, I believe was his name.
Brad Childress. Looked like Popeye.
Oh, yeah. Brad Johnson was the quarterback.
Yeah, Brad Childress. Lovie Smith, obviously. The Lions, for the memes, Matt Patricia, but also Jim Caldwell was kind of funny. Jim Schwartz was awesome. Like
Rod Marinelli.
They had some guys there. Mike McCarthy was smashing watermelons.
You know what all these coaches have in common, and Mike Zimmer is like the face of this, is they have incredible faces when they're cold. Like their noses get all red and they'll look pissed off, and they don't want to say it because they have to be there, and they're football guys and they're like, yeah, we love this, but actually, no, I just want to go take a hot bath. That's what all these coaches are. And now
not Bud Grant.
I guess. But now we have LaFleur, O'Connell, Ben Johnson. We have the pretty boys in, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, they are all the same type of breed, and then there's sort of Dan Campbell.
Yeah, I guess Dan Campbell kind of holds the nostalgia together here.
Yeah, I think NFC East can give you a run for their money, though, in terms of nostalgic coaches. And then talking about coaches who are cold and bitter and angry, got Tom Coughlin leading the charge.
Tom Coughlin, yeah.
I mean, he looks the same, more cold. So
yeah.
That racist old son of a bitch. He fucking hates life. He hates, dark people. He hates all kinds of things. So, talk about nostalgia. He's still living in the 1800s. It's great.
Right.
Let's go out west with the 49ers here. So, obviously everyone's talking about it, how the injuries continue to pile up for the 49ers. Every team likes to talk about how every single year injuries pile up. That's the reason that they don't go. 49ers get to hold the torch for that because clearly their injuries are worse than everybody else's. Is it the power plant or whatever that's right next door? I have no idea. However, seeing practice footage of all the power lines put it in perspective a little bit more. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but they're in a radioactive cage, essentially. It's crazy. It's bad. So now injuries are continuing to pile up. Just talking about wide receivers, though, because they have all other injuries as well. But Ricky Pearsall out for the season. Same exact thing as last year. PCL issues. So whatever. Christian Kirk came over, and he's already hurt, calf issue. Mike Evans came. He's already hurt, quad issue. They drafted Dejon Stribling, who people hated, now people love, and now he's on the sideline. So he has a hamstring injury. Because of all the injuries, they brought in Deebo Samuel. I imagine they're going to want to use Deebo Samuel in a similar way that they used to in terms of out of the backfield and, as a slot receiver as well. He's always hurt. He was banged up all of last year as well. So I think it's just a matter of time until he gets hurt. And then the rest of the depth chart, bringing it up right now. So they got Jacob Cohen. They got Jordan James. Kalen Black is a running back. He's hurt as well. Never mind. Jordan Watkins. Will Pauling is there. Shout out. That's about it. So I assume they may need to bring in somebody else, to be completely honest. I don't think Mike Evans' quad issue is a huge deal. I don't think Stribling's hamstring is necessarily a huge deal. I think they're just being precautionary. But do we want to draft anybody here?
I think Mike Evans is worth a pick when he's healthy. What sucks about Dejon Stribling is you can't ask for a better opportunity to come into training camp and get starter snaps and immediately build rapport with Brock Purdy, and then immediately you're going to miss time. So it sucks missing training camp, right? To your point, I don't think so. I mean, I think Mike Evans is worth a look if you're wide receiver needy at the spot. I think he's worth a pick, but am I going out of my way to get Mike Evans? Probably not. Does this help George Kittle at all?
Obviously coming off an Achilles injury. Let's assume he's back to his normal self. If that's the case, yes.
Yeah.
But that's a big question. And does he get the same workload that he used to coming off this injury? I don't know. I think he probably does because he's a psycho.
Right.
But I don't know. He gets banged up every fucking year too. So is he going to do too much and then get hurt? Is the injury going to be more severe because of this rehab and because of everything else? I don't know. Does that make him undraftable? I think it's all relative, right? We can't just necessarily say, yes, I would draft Mike Evans. No, I wouldn't draft Mike Evans. But I'm telling you, he's going wide receiver 30. So the exact same spot that we said we would draft Stephon Diggs.
Right.
In my mind, there's no shot I'm taking Mike Evans over Stephon Diggs.
Probably not. I agree.
So from 28 on is Alec Pierce, Cortland Sutton, Mike Evans, Marvin Harrison Jr., DK Metcalf, Christian Watson, Wan'Dale Robinson. Obviously a very odd mix of people there, and they all have question marks of some sort. But I think Mike Evans' injury issues is enough for me to lean everybody else. To me.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
So, I don't know.
Is this, I mean, I'll take it one step further. What is this? Are you hands off of Brock Purdy then?
We've seen Brock Purdy do okay with nothing, but I'm not a Brock Purdy guy, so I'm probably off of him. He's going quarterback 8. So again, if we just want to compare him to other people, Matthew Stafford's going after him essentially in the exact same range. I'd rather go Stafford.
Yeah, agreed.
Trevor Lawrence is going almost a full round after. I think it's worth a conversation.
I'd rather go Lawrence.
And then it's Patrick Mahomes. You already talked about him. Then it's Jackson Dart.
I'd rather go Dart.
So, I mean, the Niners, if we're off of Mike Evans, wide receiver 1, we're off of their quarterback. Let me look and see where George Kittle's going, which I think it's lower than normal, which is good. George Kittle at the moment, and this will go up once he is healthy and people see him, but he's going tight end 11, 118 overall. I think there's no chance he stays there in the same way that Tucker Kraft at tight end 10. There's no shot he stays there. But
Yep.
let's just say let's say Kittle doesn't rise that much ahead of Travis Kelce, who's going tight end 8, 95 overall. What do we think of that range for Kittle? Would you take him?
I would take Kittle instead of Kelsey.
Okay. Trevor, same feeling?
I'd agree.
I don't know if I'd take him ahead of Kelsey. I think it's close, but I think I would definitely take him in that range. It's almost it's so late that it's really not a risk. You know what I mean? If you flop on your 10th round pick, your 9th round pick, it's not that big a deal.
The nice thing with the Kelsey Kittle debate is someone's going to make the decision for you because someone's going to reach for one of them.
True.
Just for name value.
True. And with Kittle, you at least know who the handcuff is.
Right.
So you have that going for you. You can just take Tonjes. That's fine.
Yeah, I guess that now is the time to say that if Kittle misses time, like you absolutely want Jake Tonjes. Like we saw last year what happened with Kittle.
Right. And I assume, maybe news changes once we get closer to the season. Maybe Kittle doesn't play week 1, even though I think he does. So maybe Tonjes rises up draft boards a little bit, but I'm guessing you can get him in the last round.
For sure. You can get him for free.
So I don't mind if you're drafting a little bit early. Don't draft a kicker, draft Tonjes and Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like a good move to me. And then if Kittle plays, cool, drop Tonjes, pick up a kicker. If Kittle doesn't play, hopefully he starts the year on PUP or something, and you can put him in your IR slot, or do a trade, figure something out, be a problem solver. But yeah, people after Kittle is Mark Andrews. I would keep him there. Jake Ferguson, I think it's worth a conversation. Isaiah Likely, Dalton Kincaid, Dalton Schultz. So
a lot of mid.
A lot of mid. I feel pretty comfortable with Kittle above those guys. So I think Kittle's a go. Take him wherever. Christian McCaffrey is going running back 3. If we hate everybody else, does that change your opinion on Christian McCaffrey?
I love Christian McCaffrey. I think, we talk about do-it-all players in the NFL, and like he might be the most do-it-all player in NFL history. He is coming off a season where he was incredible, right? And we talk about this all the time with Christian McCaffrey, right? This is always the number one thing when you bring up Christian McCaffrey is very polarizing because he's awesome when he plays, and he destroys your fantasy when he doesn't play.
Mm-hmm.
Was his workload last year enough to scare you off of him this year?
Right. One season is all it takes for most people to erase the season before from their memory, right? And last season, I think as a show, we were pretty bullish on him. Like, just take him. He's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But most people were like, I'm not wasting a pick on this guy after last year. So what's to say that after a heavy workload, something flares up again? I don't know. It was tendonitis, which from my mind, it means it's going to flare up at some point again. It does suck.
I don't have the stats on me but it feels like McCaffrey is one of those every other year. He's awesome, guys.
Maybe. I mean, he's been, I know if you go to game.flurrysports.org, there's a quiz about running back ones over the past 2 decades or so, I think is what it is. And I believe he is the only person to be running back 1 in multiple seasons. Like, he's been so dominant. He was so good last year. So I don't know. If you're talking about him at running back 3, obviously he's behind Gibbs. He's behind Bijan. He's ahead of Jonathan Taylor and Devon Achane. And they're all first rounders. I could see people being off of McCaffrey enough to take one of the other 2 people. I think you can make, it's a conversation, right? Like, you can argue and debate to get to one of those other guys. To me, I'm taking McCaffrey ahead of them. I don't really care, to be honest.
Yeah, agreed. For whatever it's worth, he had 413 touches last year.
That's a lot.
311 rushing attempts, 102 receptions. I'm just fact checking myself here. Last year he was RB2. The year before he was RB73. Year before that he was RB1. Year before that he was RB2. Year before that 44. Year before that 51. Year before that 1. Year before that 3. Year before that 15. So kind of on and off every other year almost.
And it's just injuries. So
Right.
Do you think he stays healthy, or do you think the previous year's workload is going to bring him down? Maybe this Deebo Samuel signing's a good thing.
Take the load off a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, because they don't have Brian Robinson there anymore. He was certainly running back 2 last year. I think they want Kalen Black to be the running back too. He's currently banged up. Isaac Guerendo's still there. I think he might be banged up as well. But
I'm sorry if
I
I
don't
missed that when I was looking up the stats. Christian McCaffrey or Jonathan Taylor? Did you talk about that?
he's going ahead of Jonathan Taylor. I love Jonathan Taylor, but his whole business mind has really soured me on him as a football player. Like I hate his agent so fucking much. It's not the same agent as last time, I don't think. But now he's gonna do his little holdout bullshit pussy act to get more money, which is fine. He deserves it.
Yeah.
You played in Indianapolis for that long and have nothing. He's been the only thing there. I'm not taking him. He screams like someone who's going to get hurt and not play a full season.
I don't disagree with you on that.
Like Daniel Jones comes back off an Achilles. Watch Daniel Jones be otherworldly. He'll be so good. And then the wheels fall off of Jonathan Taylor. There's always something with the Colts. It feels like something like that will happen. Now there's plenty of other things, right? Alec Pierce is your wide receiver 1. He's not practicing. Josh Downs is your wide receiver 2. He's small. He's going to get hurt at some point. So, there's plenty of ways the Colts could fail this year.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking when you're sitting at, the first round, it's right that first running back tier is Bijan and Gibbs. They're probably 1, 2, however you want to draft them. And it's Jamar Chase, probably maybe Puka in there at 3, 4. And then 5 is kind of really where the person needs to make a decision. Whether that be a Christian McCaffrey. But if you're not taking McCaffrey, then you're probably not, I don't know. Then the next running back is, I don't know. It's interesting spot to pick. So if you're not taking McCaffrey, you're like, I'm scared off the injuries. Does that mean you're going to take Jonathan Taylor? I don't think so. I think you'd rather go receiver there then.
And that's what the ADP says. So the top 12 right now is Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Puka, Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey at 5. Then they go Jackson Smith, Amon-Ra. Then it's Jonathan Taylor and A-Chain. And then it's Drake London, CeeDee Lamb, Rashee Rice.
I hate the end of the first round this year, man.
It is weird, but I mean, I was going to say you could get CeeDee Lamb, Chase Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Ashton Genty, something like that. But, do you feel really good about that either? I don't know.
I know it's like if you're drafting at the end of the first round, like if you're debating whether you do one or, you want number 1 or number 12, would you rather go CeeDee Lamb, Ashton Genty, or, Jahmyr Gibbs and like Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs? I think it's an odd kind of mix this year.
I mean, give me the middle of the fucking first round. If I can take Jackson Smith and Jigba and come back and take either Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley,
right?
Thank you.
That's the sweet spot this year.
Yeah.
Well, and I'd argue if you're at 4, if you take McCaffrey, right, even if he gets hurt, like you said, with the end of the rounds, you're really not that far behind anybody drafting 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th either, even if he's hurt. And obviously his upside is he wins you the fucking league.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, his injuries or risk or whatever you want to call it, not enough to move me on his ADP whatsoever. Yeah. And to be completely honest, he's not much lower, if at all, lower than the top 2 running backs to me.
I agree. I mean, what did I say? 413 touches last year. If he's healthy, he's getting that again this year, and that's good. That's running back 1.
Yeah, if you tell me every player plays all 17 games, Christian McCaffrey is my number 1
for sure.
It's without a doubt.
He almost had 1,000 receiving yards last year too. I think he had 924. So
a little over 900.
I mean, he's getting almost as many receiving yards as some of these receivers that are being drafted in the second round.
Well, I guess that kind of to connect it back to our start of our conversation with San Francisco with the wide receivers out. It really feels like Christian McCaffrey benefits the most out of anyone.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about that. They might run 2 backfield sets because they have to. Who knows? But he's going to be catching plenty of passes. I think their offensive line is significantly worse than, let's just say, 2 years ago. That helps Christian McCaffrey in terms of receptions. He just catches little dump off passes. So, yeah, I feel completely fine with him. If he gets hurt, I think he has just as much chance to get hurt as Jonathan Taylor, as Devon A-Chain, as Chase Brown, as Ashton. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have more risk. He just doesn't. What were we talking? The 49ers, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, DeJon Stribling's currently going as wide receiver 74. I highly doubt he stays there. Would you draft Stribling, assuming he's healthy before the season starts? Or would you rather draft Jaden Daniels? Or not Jaden Daniels, sorry, Jaden Reed.
Oh. Assuming I don't know. Do you guys have an answer on this? Because I'm torn here.
If everybody's healthy, I'm taking Stribling.
I don't know.
I need to be proven wrong about Jaden Reed. And it's not Jaden Reed's fault. It's Matt LaFleur's fault.
Yeah. I came on the show last week and said that the Packer receiver to get is one who doesn't get hurt. So I guess if I'm assuming Jaden Reed's healthy, then I'm going to take Jaden Reed.
And again, like I just don't think Matthew Golden's numbers are that much different than Reed's, and he's going way
fair.
later.
Agreed. That's fair.
Yeah. I think if you're still believing LaFleur and anything he says about, we're gonna let Jordan Love sling the ball, or really believing anything that comes out of his mouth anymore, you're an idiot. I mean, how many times has he been like, "Oh, we're gonna learn from our mistakes," and they just doesn't fucking learn shit.
Yeah. The fourth offseason in a row, I've heard we're gonna let Jordan Love cook.
Yeah, I know. At some point, we got to turn the gas on, eh?
Yeah.
Debo's currently going wide receiver 46. I would guess Stribling settles around wherever Debo goes.
I would take Stribling ahead of Debo.
And I think most people would do the opposite, but I think they're going to be right near each other wherever that is.
Yeah.
For whatever it's worth, Jaden Reed is going wide receiver 44. That's ahead of both of them.
Okay.
So it's a weird spot, though. I mean, we've talked about that spot. It's Michael Wilson, Josh Downs, Jaden Reed, Quentin Johnston, Debo Samuel, Khalil Shakir. It's pick your poison with any of them. There's people I like in there, but I could talk myself out of literally anybody there. Ricky Pearsall was going wide receiver 52. So,
okay.
That tells you the value of where people have been projecting him.
We don't have to spend a lot of time on this because I know we have some hard outs here, but and we have some other stuff we got to hit. This has just been sitting on my mind the last couple days. You guys have any strong thoughts on Parker Washington? Like, it feels like, he's everyone's darling, one of everyone's darling breakouts this year. But the way I look at it is, Trevor Lawrence played his best football of his career at the end of last year, right? And when he comes in, we're going to have a healthy Brian Thomas. We're going to have healthy Parker Washington. We're going to have healthy Brenton Strange. We're going to have a healthy Jacoby Myers, and Travis Hunter, I assume, is going to play some offense as much as they want to keep it a mystery. Doesn't feel like Parker Washington is necessarily in line for what we saw him end last year with, right? Or am I missing something on this?
I think anyone who tells you it confidently is lying or delusional. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, Zach, Liam Cohen today said Parker Washington was an emergency contact. So clearly you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I read that too. I think that was made up, but it sounds like something he would say because he's a dumbass. But I think his workload and the trust they have in him is real. What I would guess is it feels like Brian Thomas Jr., who I like, and I have it written down in the document. I think he might be a better value than Parker Washington, even though they're going near each other. But I think Washington's just going to be more reliable. I think he's going to be the intermediate route guy. And I think he is going to be the chain mover. A lot of times Jacoby Myers will do it a little bit. But I think the one who Lawrence has the best chemistry with is him. I think he has good chemistry with Strange as well. But I just think there's too many times Thomas is going to get lost. I think he's going to take this. I think his role is to make space for everybody else.
Okay.
So, like if I'm projecting them all, which is my job and I'm going to have to do, I think Washington I'm projecting highest. But
out of all the pass catchers.
Yes. Okay. But I don't think it's that much. And I guess in terms of right now where they're going, I think I wrote it down in there. Brian Thomas Jr. is currently going wide receiver 39, which is 83 overall. And Parker Washington is going wide receiver 37. So they're going almost identical to each other. I'm telling you, Parker Washington is going to continue to trend upward just because of how everyone's talking about him. So Washington's going to settle around wide receiver 33, 34, which is
Okay.
Christian Watson, Wan'Dale Robinson. He's just going to be
Okay.
right there. Brian Thomas Jr. probably will go down a little bit because I bet Jordan Tyson passes him. I bet Josh Downs gets close to him. Like, give me Brian Thomas. Like, if the ceiling of one of them is the highest, it's Brian Thomas Jr. There's no doubt. It has to be,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not saying he's going to reach it, but if one of these players becomes a wide receiver 1, it's him.
Yeah, I agree. Is there any value at all in Travis Hunter? Because it feels like everybody and their mother they're off of Travis Hunter, which I'm right there with. I love Travis Hunter. I think he's an awesome football player. But in terms of fantasy value, probably nothing there, right?
In terms of how they're talking about him today, he's going to enter the conversation again from all these fantasy analysts. The answer is no. Like, don't do it. He's going to be a specialist role. He's going to come in on third downs. He's going to come in on red zone stuff, and stuff like that. He's going to come in on the money plays, which is annoying.
It is,
but it means he's going to be inconsistent. But he's going to have plenty of opportunities to score big points, come down with touchdowns, stuff like that. But if he doesn't catch that, then he's got nothing.
Yeah, that's an interesting for like last pick in my touchdown league.
Interesting pick for that. Interesting pick for leagues that count both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
because
points for first downs. Interesting.
Yeah, he could get that. I don't think he racks up that many tackles or anything like that. So in terms of his IDP points, is probably not very high. But if you need someone late or something, or it's a big league, if it's just a specific DB spot, you could get away with it. I think they should. I don't think they're going to do it. They should use him as a returner.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I would do, I guess. And if you get returner points as well, then all of a sudden you got 3 phases of the game. I kind of like him a little bit, but I don't know. The Jaguars, it's still a tough sell for me.
Agreed.
I don't know what to do. Tootin is someone we'll talk about more this summer. I like him as a player. I just don't know. I'm never going to pick him and feel good.
I need to be convinced on him yet.
Yeah. It's role. It's a million things over, right?
He feels a little Chuba Hubbard to me, where I'm going to miss out on 2 years of him, and I'm still like, I don't really like him.
Yeah. Chuba Hubbard. If you like Chuba Hubbard, you should love him this year, and no one does. So I don't know what's going on there. That's a weird one. I didn't even think about that. We should talk about that at some point. Quick rundown of some wide receiver 2 news. We can talk about who we like, who we maybe don't like. We talked about Stephon Diggs, one of the better wide receiver 2s. We talked about Brian Thomas Jr. a little bit there. He is a wide receiver 2 that I think is getting slept on just because of how bad or how much he let people down last year. I think expectations were too high. Other ones, Jaden Higgins right now, he's going as wide receiver 62, 137 overall in Houston. Nico Collins talked about him as if Higgins is the best player of all time. He called him the future of the franchise, which is it's weird considering Nico Collins just got paid. D'Amico raved about him. Literally everyone loves Higgins more than life itself. No one's talking about him because Tank Dell came back to practice. But Higgins, if everything everyone says is true, wide receiver 62 is too low.
Yeah. I mean, that's almost it's like, why not take him at that?
There's so much value in drafts this year for wide receivers, like we talked about last week. I'm taking one stud and I'm taking shots on all these question marks.
Yep.
Like that's just the strategy I'm taking this year, I think. Another one, Dontavian Wicks. He is separating himself in Eagles practice. People love him a ton. I will say he's separating himself from nobody because Devontae Smith and McLean Lemon are both out of practice. So he is separating himself. Yes, I think he's a good player. Obviously, we're all Packer fans. We all thought he was potentially the best receiver on the Packers at plenty of spots. So I think he's for sure undervalued. I'm not sure how serious I'm taking these reports from today.
Yeah, I like that Dontavian Wicks. I don't know that I'm hitching my wagon to him as like a fantasy darling. Assuming he wins that second outside receiver spot for the Eagles, what does that really mean, right? We've seen Devontae Smith be that player, and I would say that Devontae Smith is probably a better receiver than Dontavian Wicks. And, on a week-to-week basis, you were never truly comfortable starting Devontae Smith, right? So
True.
are you ever going to be comfortable starting Dontavian Wicks? Is that, in a flex, or maybe if you have two flexes in your second flex, maybe I can see that. But either way, I still think it's probably worth a look if he stays low. But I don't know that I'm ever starting him confidently.
And currently wide receiver 81, 173 overall. So low is free.
Yeah.
Right. Trevor, do you have any specific thoughts about him?
Not at all. Not at all. I was honestly just kind of thinking back to the 49ers, like that I'm sorry, it's off topic, but that electrical substation shit is like the most MLB headline ever. And it's what the only
Oh,
thing
yeah.
the NFL needs more of. And it's fantastic. We just need
That is
more
true.
random shit. But no, I don't have any feeling about the Philly receivers. Like you said, I mean, Lemon will be fine. Smith will be fine. Wicks, like, who knows? Like, it's kind of like you guys said. It's the same story every year. If you're I had Devontae Smith last year. I didn't even have confidence in him as a wide receiver 4. So what makes me
Right.
think I'll have confidence in him or Lemon or anybody any differently this year compared to last? Like, there's just no reason for that.
What I will say is, first off, you invested so much in Devontae Smith, you're investing nothing in Dontavian Wicks. So expectations are different. But Devontae Smith was still just go. Like, let's take the top off the defense. And if that's my wide receiver too, he's either a distraction or he's coming down with the ball, which means he's volatile. And you could talk, I like Jalen Hurts. For sure, his deep ball is questionable. That's the one thing you can really question him on. Or just finding that receiver. So that's inconsistent. But Dontavian Wicks isn't that player. So now we're talking about a very different wide receiver 2 there. The defense is traveling with Smith to make sure he doesn't take the top off. Wicks can get open underneath. We've seen him do it. And that's what the Eagles have been really missing. That's what Lemon, they're hoping, can do as well. They didn't throw it in the middle of the field whatsoever last year, which is a big issue.
Right.
Lemon's going to get that, but I think Wicks can do that too, and that's what people are missing. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see what he can do, and I think if he's free, fucking fine, I'll take him.
Wicks felt a little behind his time in Green Bay. Like, if he would have played with Rodgers, Dontavian Wicks, I think, would have been like a top 5 round pick every year in fantasy football.
We could have seen a James Jones season. Jacoby Lane, rookie wide receiver. By the way, rookie wide receivers around the camps right now are thriving. They're doing very well. For as much shit as everyone talked on this draft class, they're doing very good. Jacoby Lane is fully taking over Ravens camp. He is making play after play after play. I think he's very clearly solidifying himself as the wide receiver 2 there. At the same time that Zay Flowers gets paid, I don't know, was it like $35 million per year or something? It was stupid. One of the biggest overpays of all time. But if Jacoby Lane is the wide receiver 2 in this offense, I think he's worth a look. He is currently going, I think, also free. He is going, fully undrafted, even lower than Dontavian Wicks. So I think he's someone to look at. And then another rookie wide receiver, there's several that are doing well, but Denzel Boston's the one that's actually dominating headlines. He's going wide receiver 67, 156 overall. It sounds like Jerry Jeudy's the 3rd wide receiver there immediately for the Browns. But Denzel Boston, are we buying what Browns reporters and everyone is selling right now? Because everyone's saying he's the dude. He's very, very good.
He is very good. How much of it is like he has the opportunity just to kind of do what he wants right now with KC out? Is he kind of put into that limelight because, like, we're missing one of our other guys. Let's put all focus on him now. Which, again, great for Denzel Boston, making everything he can with the opportunities he's getting. But I'm curious of how much that's actually going to carry over when everyone's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, my main takeaway is never believe anything that comes out of the Browns camp. Like, I think I've only seen 1, maybe 2, and I'm so fucking sick and tired of all these quarterback stats from camp being thrown out about Shador and Watson. It's like, please, we know how bad these players are. All right, so Boston's been great in camp. That honestly probably just means he's competent. They go up against the Ravens. They go up against the Steelers. He's going to get locked down because the quarterbacks can't throw a ball. So I'm sure he's a very talented player, but from a fantasy perspective, forget it. Like I'm not touching a Brown in redraft unless it's Judkins or their defense or Fannin.
Um, Trevor, I think when we talk about quarterback stuff, you failed to mention that Shadur Sanders is a Pro Bowler and has his jersey retired in college. So there's got to be, I think there's
He does.
some sort
He
of acumen there.
also blew a 26-point lead at home to Stanford. So
Yeah, that was the offensive line's fault.
well, you said Shadur, so that's my moment to leave. But I'll be seeing you guys from a new place in Chicago ish pretty soon. So
Sounds good.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoy it. Have fun moving. Best thing. So fun. Luke, did you
It's,
hear the Shadur quote today?
No, I'm sure
So
it's
they-
incredible.
It's really good. They asked him if he's ever been in a quarterback competition. He said, "Yeah, myself. I'm always
Yeah, it's
competing with
great.
myself."
Yeah, it's great. I
Oh
did
my
see.
God, damn it.
Someone was watching quarterback and it was Joe Flacco was on this year. Joe Flacco like threw a pick or something, and Shadur Sanders went up to him like, "Hey, keep your head
Yeah,
up, man." And
saw
I'm like,
that.
that's not what Joe Flacco needs to hear.
No, from you, like, get the fuck out of my face. He's being a good teammate though. Like,
Yeah.
it sucks, but yeah, it is what it is. What I will say about Denzel Boston, again, going 67 overall, that's behind Malik Washington, which is interesting. But then it's Rashad Bateman's ahead of him, Jalen McMillan, Jawan Jennings, Jaden Higgins, Trey Tucker, Jerry Jeudy. So, like, I think he's worth a stab at that
Yeah.
spot.
Definitely
But-
better than all those guys.
Yeah, and I think he's very clearly the wide receiver one in Cleveland. Like, I don't think that is a smokescreen or foolishness. I'm worried about him getting stuck on the outside.
Right.
Because that's going to be the hardest throw for the quarterback to make. And if we're saying the quarterback play is iffy, he's going to get lost.
Mm-hmm.
But if he is the one playing on the outside and drawing tons of coverage because he's so good, no one wants to talk about it. But I mean, Jerry Jeudy could open himself up again.
Yeah.
Like, he was pretty good a few years ago. Like, I think there's
Yeah.
a legitimate chance he could do that again.
Well, let me ask you, every once in a while we get moments in NFL history where something clicks and like the player is never the same and things like that. Kind of feels like Jerry Jeudy might have fallen into that when Steve Smith called him trash.
That was still in Denver though. He thrived with Joe Flacco a bit in Cleveland.
Yeah. How much of that was Jerry Jeudy compared to Joe Flacco though?
I think it's for sure more Joe Flacco, but like I don't think Jerry Jeudy's a great receiver, and he is for sure not a number one, which is what he's been having to do.
Right.
If he's your wide receiver 2, your wide receiver 3, like I think he's okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a decent chance he gets traded in the middle of the year. To be fair,
Yeah.
But-
I don't necessarily disagree with you.
I'm for sure not taking him ahead of Denzel Boston, which is what ADP currently says. But if you need a late wide receiver pick, Casey's hurt right now. Denzel Boston's drawing top coverage. Harold Fannin is probably the focal point. He's drawing coverage. Jerry Jeudy's going to get his. He just will.
Yeah.
That's just from a football
just feels-
perspective, not even a fantasy perspective.
Agreed 100%. It just feels kind of gross if you're the guy who's like, yeah, I got Jerry Jeudy.
Right. And again, he's currently going 59 overall, while Denzel Boston's going 67. I could see that flipping exactly,
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I hope we get more Harold Fannin as the H-back again. I loved him as the old school player last year.
Yeah, I'm interested. It sounds like they want to feature him, but I'm not 100% sure what that means, especially without Njoku there.
Right.
Because if he's going to be full-time tight end, like on the line, I think that limits him.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm interested to see.
Yeah, I think they need to use him in weird formations.
Let's see who else they have as a tight end there. I feel like there's one more that I know. They have. They got Blake Whiteheart, Joel Royer, Jack Stoll is who I was thinking of, and that's it. Like they really don't have anybody. So, yeah, they're certainly hoping Harold Fannin is an every down guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You brought up a name there, Malik Washington, that I wrote down. Is that, and this is kind of to be seen, right? That he feels like he's going to be the number one guy. All reports in training camp, it's like, yep, this is the number one receiver. My question to you, Zach, does that matter? You called Miami as barely an NFL team, but
Mhm.
at this point, I talked to you about it. Where really in fantasy football, there's probably only one Miami Dolphin that's getting drafted, unless someone takes a shot at Malik Willis. Does Malik Washington being the number one guy even matter to you at all? Is this a situation where it's like he's going free and he's the number one receiver? Why wouldn't I take him? Or is it like Miami's just so bad he's going to see so much of the number one coverage and he's not good enough to beat number one coverage? Malik Willis isn't good enough to get him the ball that I'm totally off of him.
I think it matters. And because like slot receivers are weird, right? Because you have to project what the teams do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a Josh Downs where of years past, not this year, where it's like I think he's a really good slot receiver, but if the Colts are winning, if they're in charge and they're doing what they want to do, they're probably going to run 12 personnel and he's not going to be on the field.
Yeah.
The Dolphins, I think, are going to be trailing a shit ton. So I think they can't really afford to not play him. He plays in the slot, so there's a natural separation there, and I think I like him. I think he's a pretty good player, to be completely honest. So if you're saying if the Dolphins want to force feed him the ball, I think they can easily do so. I think there's the natural separation of playing in the slot. I think his route running's pretty good. And I think the linebackers, if you want to do any kind of motion or just fakes with the running back, they'll go to where A-Chain's going. So I think you can get the ball to Washington quite a bit. And he's currently going, you said free, which is basically true. To be more accurate, he's going wide receiver 66, 156 overall. I think there's a scenario where he can settle into a trusted wide receiver 3 role for you. But if you're drafting him as your 5th receiver, which is not out of the question whatsoever, I love it.
Yeah.
I think his ceiling isn't like wide receiver 1 or anything, but I think he's going to be a steady guy.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. It's really easy to follow the line of thinking of this team sucks. Why would I ever take anything from them? They're not going to score points, which I always agree with. But to that point, a wide receiver, the number one pass catcher in offense going undrafted, feels a little like there's some value there to me.
And everything we hear from Miami, like they're saying, yes, he's getting a bunch of passes and he looks good and there's a chemistry, all of that. But then to couple that, they keep saying Dolphins want to run the football. They just improved their offensive line, which they did not. They're going to run 12 personnel. They're just going to try to – they can do that. But if they're down by 20 points, guess what they're not going to do? If they're not going to run 12 personnel, they're not going to run the football. So if you think the Dolphins are bad, then I think Washington is going to be pretty good. Could he quickly turn into a Jarvis Landry when he was there? Where it's like he soaks up targets and has no chance to get a touchdown. Yes.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Like I'm willing to take the guy who has volume at least and see if he can score a touchdown. I don't know.
Yeah.
Other receivers. That's pretty much it. Other quick news that I wrote down. Might as well knock some of these out. Zachariah Branch is another rookie who's playing really well too. He's quickly rising in Falcons camp. I think he'll rise to that wide receiver 2 spot. He's killing people right now.
Yeah, he was a guy who was a five-star out of high school, and then had high hopes at USC. Didn't really live up to it. Went to Georgia, didn't really live up to it. But I like him. I think he's a really good football player.
I completely agree. Kenyon Sadiq's another player. He didn't really live up to it, I don't think, in college, but obviously a ton of hype around him for the NFL season. Apparently he had a setback from his hernia surgery, which is not good. Aaron Glenn says he should be back for week 1. I don't love that. He said he's confident, but I don't know. Like I think he might play week 1. I could see him being limited. I could see him not being ready for week 1. So I don't have a ton of confidence there. But I was surprised when I looked up his ADP. Kenyon Sadiq's going tight end 20.
Oh, interesting.
Right. Like in my mind, I'm like, everyone loves Kenyon Sadiq. The hype is high. I'm hands off. But the hype is high. Everyone loves him and no one's drafting him.
Right. Yeah, I think that might be a That might be a quotient of everyone thinks that the Jets are bad, which again, the Jets probably are bad, but the Jets have
Mhm.
good players and a good offensive line and a veteran quarterback. I think the Jets are better than people think they are. So yeah, I mean, is Kenyon
Yeah,
Sadiq worth the pick at tight end 20? Absolutely, he is.
I think so too. If I, it depends on how deep your league is, right? But if you can afford to hold 2 tight ends, I don't hate that. And I mean, shit, if somehow you're drafting and George Kittle's still going tight end 11 or something, if you end up with Kittle and Sadiq, and hopefully one of them plays week 1, and maybe both do, maybe both are good, you can trade one of those guys. Those have
For
name
sure.
value too. So
Yeah.
I think
You
it's
ever
interesting. Definitely someone to circle on your draft board.
you ever had a hernia?
No, thank God.
Yeah, it seems like a weird thing that it feels like in the 1500s that you could just like live with it and nothing like horrible would happen to you. But now it
Mhm.
feels like as soon as you get it, you need to have surgery on it. Which again, if you had it now, nothing really horrible would happen to you. I guess if you're not a professional athlete, right? But
True.
I don't know, weird injury.
Weird injury, extremely painful. I've
Yeah,
seen it where like there's that mesh and then the muscle or whatever, it bursts, so it like is out. I've
yeah,
seen it on people. It's fucking weird. It's
yeah.
very odd.
I know people who've had it have told me it's almost like you have there's some cases where you have like a third testicle, which would freak me out. And
Yeah, if it goes down, yeah, that's
yeah,
weird.
yeah,
I, yeah, screw that shit. Um, that's why you wear the belts in the weight room when you're lifting heavy
mhm.
shit. Which I did not ever want to do, and now I'm like, thank
No,
God it something stupid did not happen to me.
right.
Buccaneers are running several 21 sets. They're calling it the pony package. They have both Bucky Irving and Kenneth Gainwell on the field. They love Kenneth Gainwell, but at the same time, I think Bucky Irving is very, very clearly the lead back. So coupling that together, I love it. I like Kenneth Gainwell. I'm pretty sure you do too.
Hmm.
He's coming off a season. I think he caught 74 passes for Pittsburgh.
Hmm.
Tons, career high, obviously. Sounds like he's going to play a similar role this year. So I think blanket statement, we like him a lot. Now his ADP is running back 33. How do you feel
That
about that?
that feels high to me. The what I read today is that they're using him as a receiver out of the backfield, which I guess makes sense considering what happened last year. But to your
Mhm.
point, with 74 receptions, is that a product of Aaron Rodgers has been known to throw to running backs down the field and all that, and Baker Mayfield has kind of been known to he would rather make the play himself, maybe throw. I guess he doesn't have
True.
Mike Evans this year, but throw it up or run it himself. Um, so this feels like a situation where I don't think I'm going to take Kenneth Gainwell at that spot. I guess it's Kenny Gainwell now, and that's one that it's always going to be Kenneth when I talk about him.
Right.
But this is going to be a situation where I think I'm going to pass on him at running back 33. Someone's going to take him. Someone's going to benefit from him. I'm just not going to be the one that's going to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Is he going in the right spot? Maybe. Like I think he's fine. I think he's the clear handcuff, which is good.
Yeah.
And I think he's a really good football player, but I think he's going to line up in the slot and stuff like that too. But to your point, yeah, Baker, a lot of quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, right? He wasn't very mobile last year, so he checked it down.
Mhm.
He threw it out. It was just extended handoffs because the offensive line wasn't great. I mean, Buccaneers have a pretty good offensive line, and Baker's fine tucking it and running it himself. So that's a good point. Maybe downgrade him a little bit. So running back 33 feels high. There's a string of 3 running backs going in a row. It's Gainwell, Aaron Jones, J.K. Dobbins, and that's a tough 3.
Is there an avenue? I saw someone throw this take out there that I didn't fully agree with and I didn't fully disagree with. And I think I disagree with it more than I agree with it, just given that Sean Payton has, we talked about, has been known to, mix and match his running backs and do all, get everyone involved. But given Denver's offensive line, given their awesome defense, is there any sort of idea that J.K. Dobbins can have a Javonte Williams-esque season in Denver this year?
I don't think that extreme, because I think there's going to be a clear split, and not necessarily just with him and Harvey. I think Coleman gets involved too. So I don't think he has a Javonte Williams-esque season, but he's going running back. That must be 35, 94 overall. I think that's undervalued.
Yeah.
People hate Ramondre Stevenson, and I think he has the same role as Ramondre Stevenson. And Stevenson's going 73 overall, so 20 picks earlier. So I'm fine putting him in line there. Tony Pollard's going 62 overall. Do I like J.K. Dobbins that much less than that? No.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So, like, there's no scenario where J.K. Dobbins is healthy and doesn't have the early down roll in my mind. So the question's injuries, but if he's healthy and you're investing nothing, so you draft him, you play him when he's healthy, you cut him when he's not. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Like, if you're ranking running backs for the first month of the season, I think he's probably in the running back 15 to 22 range.
I really think that he can be a player that it's very polarizing, right? Given that injury history, but the person who hits on it, like that offensive line is too good to not have someone benefit a ton from that. And I think J.K. Dobbins is the number one option for that.
And now with Jalen Waddle on the outside, all of a sudden the defense has to respect that too. So now there's no loaded boxes. You got the best offensive line in football. It's going to be good. They're going to be very good. You got a really, really good defense where there's certainly a good chance you score twice and you can lean on that lead and just run the football. So
what's Denver's odds to win the Super Bowl?
It's got to be among the best. Let's see. I'm going to take a wild guess and say around plus 600.
Yeah, I was thinking 600 to 800 somewhere in there.
NFL. We got interesting. That's Super Bowl. Okay, we're off. We're really off. Okay, so they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th best odds. Tied for the 11th best odds. The leader is the Rams at plus 550. The second best odds are the Seahawks and Bills tied at plus 1100. So big drop off. That's how big of a drop off it is, which is crazy. Broncos plus 1900.
I mean, they were Bo Nix's injury away from getting to the Super Bowl last year.
I love placing like 5 Super Bowl futures because I'm pretty good at least hitting one of them, right? All you got to do is get them to the Super Bowl, then you can hedge it. They're one of the 5. Why wouldn't you?
I've always said that I don't know if I ever told you this, if I ever got like rich where money didn't really matter to me, for like my buddies' birthdays, I would put a bet, like $100 bet on every team to win the Super Bowl and give that to them for their birthday.
That's good. That's smart.
Yeah.
I've seen people or know of people who, do bets like that as their present for things. I mean, in my family, we like to give like scratch offs all the time. So it's similar, right?
The scratch offs go crazy at our family Christmases.
Yes, it's the best. Like every opportunity, honestly. Family reunion, we do it too.
Scratchers are awesome.
If I'm saying there's 5, I think there's a legitimate 5 teams that can win a Super Bowl. Maybe I think the Rams can. I think the Seahawks can.
About the Rams, real quick. Plus 550 for the Rams feels like some pretty good value right now too.
It does feel like good value, but if we're saying they are number 1 and number 2 is 1100, theoretically, obviously odds shrink really, really fast, but you should be able to get a better price on them at some point during the season, unless they rattle off 5 wins in a row.
Yeah, do you think so? I think this might be the best odds that you're going to get from them.
They play in Brazil right away, right? Against the Niners. Is that what it is? Australia against the Niners. So that could go either way. Niners very beat up, so probably going to win. Then they play home Sunday Night Football against the Giants. Then they play at Denver, at Philadelphia, home against the Bills.
It's actually a tough start.
It's a tough start. If they win those games, those odds shrink fast.
If they start 4-1, those odds go down to like plus 200.
Yeah, for sure. But if you lose to the Broncos, at all, that's going to flip quick. If you lose to the Eagles at all, that's going to flip quick.
Yeah, Bills probably too.
Bills being number 2 is a joke.
Yeah.
It's every fucking year, man. It's Jim Leonard's there now, so I would love to believe in them, but come on. What are we doing?
Who's head coach there? Ken Dorsey's head coach?
Joe Brady.
Oh, Joe Brady.
Yeah, so it's Rams 550, Seahawks and Bills at 1100, Ravens at 1200. Then there's another jump to Chargers 1600, Patriots 1700, Eagles 1700, Chiefs 1700. Niners are still 1800, Texans 1800, Lions Broncos 1900.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the value is Texans and Broncos, but
Yeah, the Texans play good offense. They're right there. I think their offensive line's too bad, but
yeah,
we'll see. Ravens, I
Hey,
find it hard to believe.
we quickly went off of Jacoby Lane. I like Jacoby Lane. He
Good.
if since the Ravens, I guess in this Lamar Jackson era of the Ravens, it feels like they've always been looking for that go-to outside receiver. Not that they had DeAndre Hopkins, but he was injured and a little washed up here and there. Rashad Bateman never worked out. Jacoby Lane was a pretty good high school basketball player, 6'4", 200 pounds. He can go up and make catches, man. And we know Lamar's not afraid to throw up into double coverage.
Yeah, it sounds weird comparing them, but I think he can be exactly what they were hoping Isaiah Likely was going to
Yeah.
be, and then a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's going to be very, very good.
don't-
It sounds like
I
they
don't-
want to throw more too, which is also great.
Right. I don't necessarily know that shows off in year one, but come year three, if it's year three and we're talking about Jacoby Lane being like a top 6 round pick in fantasy football, that wouldn't surprise me at all, I don't think.
Well, to be fair, I think the running game gets worse this year. So
Yeah.
if the running
Well,
game is worse, I
you
think
do?
so. Yeah, I think they have a worse run coordinator in terms of their offensive coordinator. Offensive
Their
line,
offensive
I
line's
think
better.
a little bit. Obviously, they got the big Oos in the middle now that they just drafted, but no Patrick
own it.
Ricard is a big deal.
Yeah, that hurts.
Derrick Henry's a year older. I know we say that every fucking year, but it's true. Lamar Jackson's a year older.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird to say that Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, they're all 30 years old now.
I know. Lamar's aging faster than Derrick Henry is, so
Yeah, well.
yeah. No one's aging slower than Derrick Henry at this point, but still, the Ravens are so tough. I love the Ravens. I want them to win. I love cheering for them. I think their defense is very fun. But man, I just don't. I need to see it. I can't believe that they're going to win. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. One of the strategies that I had thinking about this year is going Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and that's putting a lot of my eggs in that basket. But I love them both, but I don't fully disagree with you.
The good news is the Browns are no longer scary.
Right. Well,
no Myles Garrett's a big deal, and I forget his name every time. Different DC.
Oh, Jim Schwartz.
Jim Schwartz gone is.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have had Myles Garrett, and I wouldn't have been afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Jared Verse, but I agree with you that it's not as scary as what it was.
No. Schwartz he's a psychopath. He's so good. Can't believe he's not coaching. I'm pretty confident that's the fact. But yeah, Ravens, I can't really put them to be a Super Bowl contender. Chargers, zero confidence in them doing it.
I say it every year in this offseason when I talk about football with people. I have the same conversation every year. I fucking love the Chargers. I love their team. Sure. I love their quarterback. I love what they do. But again, they finished the year, first round exit in the playoffs after, Justin Herbert's the only one healthy and he has to put the team on his back and he just gets absolutely destroyed. I'm not saying that happens again this year, but I've seen this. I've done this for the last 6 years.
Yeah, it is what it is. If their offensive line stays healthy, they'll be better.
Right.
Like we can't just assume Justin Herbert's the guy. Like there's nothing to tell us that that's true.
Right.
He's had good moments. He's had plenty of bad ones.
I love Justin Herbert. Did you see when someone said, I can't believe that Justin Herbert got engaged to Madison Beer. How did he pull her? And the first comment under is, how did Madison Beer pull Justin Herbert? I'm like, yeah, that's the mindset we need to have.
I mean, yeah, I was preaching that too when Taylor Swift got to date Travis Kelce.
You're right.
Like she has never scored a touchdown. You know what I mean? No one she's ever dated has scored a touchdown. Travis Kelce scored hundreds. So
right.
Very, very different. It's kind of like not that we need to get super into this. Fauci's lawyer telling Aaron Rodgers to shut up and play football.
Yeah.
Let's see you throw a seam.
Right.
Throw a touchdown. Let's see you do anything. You have nothing to say.
Has Fauci ever put the belt on?
No, absolutely not. I mean, not that kind of belt.
I think we've talked about in this past. As a Packer fan, I still own you. I've always fucking owned you is the best moment in NFL history.
It's so good, man. It's so good. Like, I don't know how. If you're a Bears fan, hate them, I guess. If you're not a Bears fan, that's so good. How can you hate that guy?
Right.
It's crazy. Really quick, Trevion Henderson apparently still struggling with pass protection. He is going right, and I don't know what that means in practice, but maybe he is, maybe he's not. But he's going running back 24 overall, 56, or running back 24, which is 56 overall. Rhamondre Stevenson, people are putting respect on his name for the first time ever. He's going running back 29, not that far behind, 72 overall, so less than 2 rounds behind Henderson. Who would you rather have between those two? Who would you rather draft at their spot?
It's Rhamondre Stevenson. I think Rhamondre Stevenson is also a better player than Trevion Henderson, but I do see a scenario where, I guess I'm not going to call it a breakout, but I see a scenario where Trevion Henderson does some work in fantasy this year.
Yeah, I think he gets a little bit more work than he did last year. I just don't think he's going to be consistent. So, like, would I rather trust Trevion Henderson to be my running back 2, or would I rather trust Stevenson to be my flex? I think I'd rather trust Stevenson to be a flex.
You don't happen to have the Patriots depth. Who's running back 3 there?
I can tell you in a second. It's not Gibson anymore, I don't think. It is... nobody. Lan Larison, Jam Miller, who's a rookie, or Terrell Jennings.
Okay, yeah, Jennings was there last year. It just, like, who's the third down back if Trevion Henderson can't pass block?
Right, it's Stevenson. Has to be.
Right.
Yeah, they could bring somebody else in, I suppose, but I don't know. Their offensive line's quite a bit better. All of a sudden, people are raving about Will Campbell. How weird is that?
Terrell Jennings was everyone always has those where they think that they know something in like week 9 where they need to start someone, or like, yeah, I have an idea here. And I did that with Terrell Jennings and he got me 0.6 points and I lost that week by like 54 points or something.
Oh, sure. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I like them both. I think I'd rather take, I would guess Henderson continues to trend upwards at least a little bit for drafts. Stevenson's not going any higher. There's no shot.
Yeah.
I can see him dropping a little bit, and if he drops, great spot to be.
Is there any conversation here, and probably not, but is there any conversation here with New England being a better team than Cleveland? So maybe Henderson has more scoring opportunities than Judkins. Are they kind of on the like same path where, given the opportunity compared to winning / losing, that? I guess my question is there any world where you're taking Trevion Henderson over Quinshon Judkins? Because I feel like as these two, we're going to have this conversation about these two as long as they're in the NFL.
Sure. In my mind, I'm taking Judkins every single time. Trying to see where he's even going. So Judkins is going running back 22, which is 49 overall. Henderson's going running back 24, which is 56 overall. So about a half round difference. Judkins is going ahead. And I certainly have more trust in Judkins at his ADP.
Agreed.
So I think that's fine. Let me tell you this, though. The person in the middle of the two is Tootin. How do you feel?
Tootin feels like a guy where I'm like, I don't see it. People see it. People are going to do it. I'm not going to do it. He's going to do well for 2 years. I'm like, oh, shit, maybe I should start looking at this guy. And then it's the Chuba Hubbard situation. That's what Tootin feels like to me.
Yeah. Maybe I'll end up with him on a team this year. I'm going to guess his hype is going to make him jump Judkins at some point. Above both of them is DeAndre Swift. Could they hop Swift for sure?
Oh, I like Swift.
I like him, but I think Swift is uninteresting for most people.
Sure.
And people want Manon guy to do something.
Mm-hmm. I still want, they don't have Roschon Johnson anymore, right?
They do. I'm pretty sure.
I want him to do something.
Me too. I want him to get traded. Go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like the Giants want another running back. Go to the Giants and take 3rd round roles or something. I don't know. He's a good player. Weird spot in the draft, though. I think Judkins could be that last of that tier potentially, because then it's Tootin, Henderson, Pollard, David Montgomery, Jadarian Price, Jalen Warren, Ramondre Stevenson, Rico Dowdle.
Yeah. I think Rico Dowdle is probably the pick out of all those, right?
Today, whatever it's worth, today the depth chart came out, and Jalen Warren's above Dowdle on the depth chart.
Okay.
So I don't know what the split's going to be like there. Dowdle will get his a little bit, I'm sure, but I don't know if it's enough for me to trust him.
Yeah.
Apparently Darnell Washington's lining up as the H-back though.
That's fun.
It's very fun. That's
Let's
scary.
get him out into some space.
And I'm pretty confident that's where Patrick Ricard is.
Oh.
No. He might be in the Giants. Let me look.
Yeah, he's with the Giants. I think he followed Harbaugh.
Yeah, he's with the Giants. I mean, that's scary too. Ricard, and then you have what's his face running behind him?
Yeah.
Scatterbo.
Darnell Washington is not fantasy relevant, but he is. If you labeled any guy an Aaron Rodgers guy, Darnell Washington is an Aaron Rodgers guy.
Yes, and I love him as well. Every team should want Darnell Washington on their team. Yeah, he's very good.
He's got a lot of Mercedes Lewis in him that way.
Yes, a lot. Very, very similar players. Last couple things I got. Travis Etienne's taking all the early down work in New Orleans. Alvin Kamara is the first option for third down snaps there. So I think that's going to be the split. I think it's Etienne early, Kamara third down. Etienne's going running back 19, which is 37 overall. And, at that, I think that's about fine. I think that's where he should go. Alvin Kamara is going running back 43, 134 overall. I never thought I would be on Alvin Kamara, but at that value, I'm taking him.
Yeah, yep, I agree.
And then Bengals are moving Chase Brown all around the formation, including splitting him out at wide receiver. I don't know why. It's like they're saying we need another receiver. I'm not sure. He's going running back 6. That's 12 overall. Do you have confidence in him there?
I have confidence in Chase Brown. He has proven that when he's healthy, when Joe Burrow's healthy, Chase Brown does score touchdowns. I would rather see him in the running or in the backfield. But I say I have confidence in him, but if he's 12th overall, that means you're probably spending a first round. I don't like spending a first round pick on him.
The running back ranked right behind him is someone we talked about yesterday. This is going to be a weird conversation, I think, all offseason now, or preseason. Would you rather have Chase Brown or Ashton Genty?
Chase Brown, I think. Chase Brown.
I think so, too. That's an interesting one.
I agree. That's an interesting conversation. I think I would rather have Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, maybe Josh Jacobs over both of those guys too.
That's fair. And so just overall ADP goes Brown, Justin Jefferson, Genty, Cook, then Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, then Saquon. Josh Jacobs is another 5 after that.
I'd want James Cook over those guys too.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Talk about a perfect title for a video though. Having Chase Brown and Ashton Genty in the title is going to get clicks. So that's going to be a conversation we will have at some point. But yeah, Saquon's getting forgotten about, which is very odd.
Yeah. I get it. Right. He doesn't score as many touchdowns as he should, but
1 year.
But he's Saquon Barkley, to your point of him being forgotten, no less than shout out Shadow Wicked.
What up?
Saquon Barkley, people forget that he's like, in terms of just being a running back, the best running back that I've seen since Adrian Peterson.
Mm-hmm. And the offensive line's healthy.
Yeah.
So he played badly after a season that he played many extra games and had a huge workload, right? And Lane Johnson wasn't healthy, and the tight end wasn't healthy. And I think Jurgens might not have been healthy on the offensive line and stuff like that too. So if they stay healthy, I think they're going to be – I think Saquon's fine. What would we do in a one-man keeper league, though, asks Shadow. Would we rather keep Ibuka in the 6th, keep Javonte in the 7th, or keep Bowers in the 8th? I think I'm at Bowers.
Bowers, he's coming back to his Raiders fan. Absolutely Bowers, but Javonte Williams for a 7th round pick, I think, is great too.
It is very good. Just for the sake of conversation, let's just see where they're all going right now. So our pick was Bowers initially. He's going 41 overall. Williams would be my second. I think Ibuka's last for me.
Yeah, agreed.
Javonte is going 38 overall. And then, whoops, I spelled it wrong. Ibuka is going 35. So they're all kind of going right around the same spot. But, you know, in the 8th round, you just give up an 8th round for Brock Bowers. He's going last out of them, but not by much. And there's a decent chance you can get one of those two other guys if you really like them.
Yeah, I think Bowers at 8. So I guess it's really Bowers is your 8th round pick then, right? I guess I've never played a keeper league, which is odd to say because I've played
Really?
every other league. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bowers would be an 8th rounder, right? That's basically your 8th round pick. So you're
Yep.
saying you're taking a top 2 guy at his position in the 8th round. I think you do that anytime of the year.
Have to. He's a difference maker. My draft kit comes out in a few days, the 10th, and we have Fantasy Wars or wins above replacement. I think that will actually answer really well in terms of where these players stack up in like within their own position, their value, how much of a difference maker they are. And Bowers in a down season was still good, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's looked extremely well, as you know, as a Raider fan, I'm sure, in practices so far. In the Kubiak system, he's going to be featured.
Gonna be on the field.
Who was the old Owen Daniels? Was that the Texans tight end from Wisconsin? Like, let's just go back and remember that. That was Gary Kubiak's guy back then. I think Brock Bowers is going to be very, very, very good. Kirk Cousins going to target him a shit ton. Mendoza, inexperienced quarterbacks, target tight ends all the time. He's going to get targeted a shit ton by him. So I love it.
Was Kubiak? He coached Peyton Manning in Denver, right?
No, that was.
I know John Fox was there. I feel like Gary Kubiak was there too.
Was Kubiak there at a time? John Fox won the Super Bowl, but.
Because Owen Daniels had some run in Denver with Peyton Manning.
He was with Peyton?
Am I misremembering that?
There might have been crossover. You're probably right. Obviously, Julius Thomas was the top guy, but
yeah.
Let's see. Anytime I get to talk about Owen Daniels, I think I'm on board with it. So the first picture is him in a Bronco uniform.
I think he had some run with Peyton Manning.
I'm sure you're right. So he was one season with the Broncos, 2015, which would have been
that was the year they got. I think they got killed by Seattle in the Super Bowl that year, and then won the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, no, that's the year they won.
Oh, all right.
So, yeah, Owen Daniels is a Super Bowl champion with the Broncos.
I think Kubiak was coaching there. I could be wrong on that, but I think he was.
Was he? I thought
Gary
it was John
Kubiak.
Fox. Broncos the show 2015. Thank God it does. Okay. Coaching staff. Where is it? Staff. You're right. It was Kubiak.
Yeah, I think John Fox lost the Super Bowl and they brought Kubiak in.
That first year?
I think so. Well, I don't know. Because
John
right. Fox.
No, you're right. You're right, 100%. Huh. What? Shout out John Fox. That has to fucking burn.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's just Mark Jackson with Golden State.
Yeah.
Kick him out and then has the best team ever after.
Yeah, that's not fair. However, credit where credit's due. That's Wade Phillips' defense. That's Wade Phillips' team.
Correct. That defense was, I've always said in my life, the best defense I've ever seen is the Legion of Boom Seattle. That Denver defense might be as good as that Legion of Boom.
TJ Ward was a psychopath. All of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're talking about Gary Kubiak, not Clint.
Yeah.
But same exact system. They just run the outside zone running scheme. Bowers is more than likely your choice. Yeah. First off, I think just from a objective fantasy perspective, I think that's the choice. But you're also a Raiders fan. That should lean into it a little bit too. Like, it's about fun. So go get your guy. If you're a Raiders fan, let's set expectations where they're supposed to be. There isn't a shit ton to love this year. But Brock Bowers could win Offensive Player of the Year. Let's just hope for that. Let's cheer for that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's my number one tip to everyone playing fantasy is get the guys you like to root for. It's much more fun that way.
Yeah. I usually have my do not draft guys where it's just like I don't want to roster a person I hate.
Mhm.
Very few times there's players I love because I can't really draft offensive linemen. So, but yeah, like Ben Roethlisberger for the longest time was on my do not draft list because I'm not going to anything to watch in the game tomorrow since Love is not playing. For the most part, no.
Yeah.
It's going to be Pickett versus Carson Beck to start. I don't know how long, but it sounds like Beck is looking good in Arizona. So if that is remotely true, and if we want to believe them whatsoever, that's an interesting conversation because if he plays himself into being the franchise quarterback, then they will move on from Brissett quickly.
Yep.
So that's the one thing to watch. Otherwise, there really isn't any. I mean, there's no other starters playing or starters whatsoever. Trey Benson's hurt, so he's not even going to get to play for the Cardinals.
Yep. This is the whole thing is tomorrow.
Yep.
We're at the point in the offseason where everyone's like, yes, football's back, and then nobody watches the Hall of Fame game. I always laugh when that happens. But again, I'm very happy that we don't have to pretend to like soccer. We actually get football.
True. And I'm just looking at the depth chart right now. So let's talk about things to get excited about. Let's assume no starters play because I think that's true. Kenny Pickett starting. We know Jonathan Brooks is not going to play. That stinks.
Mm-hmm.
Could see Trevor Etienne. Could see AJ Dillon. He's there. So he could run over some people. Not typically his thing. After Kenny Pickett is Haynes King. I like Haynes King.
Oh, he's fun.
Yeah, so that'll be fun for the Panthers. Felipe Franks is tight end. We'll see him. I like him. Casey Washington's receiver. I like him. I don't know if we'll see Jimmy Horn. Let's hope we see Jimmy Horn, but I'm guessing we don't.
My one memory of Felipe Franks, or the one thing that pops into my head when I hear him, is Josh Rosen was backing up Matt Ryan one year, and I think Matt Ryan was hurt, and Josh Rosen threw like 2 pick sixes in one game, and they benched him, and then Felipe Franks came in, and he threw a pick six on his first pass or something. That might have been preseason, or it was something where I was watching like, that's.
Yeah, that's probably right. That's probably right. Yeah, otherwise for Carolina, that's probably it. Maybe we see John Mechie. We remember he recovered from leukemia with Houston, so good story. And he was really good coming out. So hopefully he can get a little bit of footing here. In terms of the Cardinals, what else do we got? It's going to be Carson Beck. Then it's going to be Keaton Slovis. Don't care. We'll probably see Bam Knight. Like the running backs for Arizona, they're all relevant. They're all big names. So it's Jeremiah Love not playing. Tyler Algier probably not playing. James Conner not playing. Trey Benson hurt. And then Bam Knight. So he might play a shit ton. Other receivers, Jalen Brooks is okay. That's about it. Devin Duvernay, I don't think he'll play. If Simi Fehoko plays, he's a good player.
Fun player.
And then tight end, nothing. So honestly, not much for Arizona, which is, I think we'll be saying that a lot all season long. Yeah, truly nothing. It'll be interesting to watch Nathaniel Hackett and Mike LaFleur just carve it up on the sideline. Yeah, just really control the game on the sideline. It'll be good. That's what you got to watch, I think.
The only other thing that I had written down that it's getting me a little hot and bothered like it did last year, which I know is not going to work because it didn't work last year, but Davis Webb is calling plays in Denver instead of Sean Payton, which it kind of feels like a weird change because I think Sean Payton is probably one of the better play callers in the NFL, but I guess that shows how much trust they have in Davis Webb. So he wants to get Evan Ingram involved. I thought Evan Ingram was going to be a stud last year. He wasn't. I don't think he's going to be a stud this year, but I don't know. I love Evan Ingram. I'm for the Evan Ingram talk.
He'll be annoying. If he stays healthy, he'll be annoying because he's not an every down player. Because of injuries, because of skill set, they need a blocking tight end in there, so he's just going to be off the field. But he's someone who could come in on third downs or in the red zone and steal touchdown. So that's where the annoyance is going to be.
Just run him up the seam and throw him the ball. It will work, and nobody's done it in his career.
I know. We talked about finally he's going to Sean Payton's team. They'll just do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Webb calling plays, it's similar to what obviously the Chiefs have done. Andy Reid just deferring it, and then crucial downs and all of that, he'll take the ball. He's in the whole time. It's truly mostly he's got trust in Webb, right? But he's setting him up for a coaching job.
You're right.
That's what it is. So it's a cool thing, I suppose. And he gets to dabble in defensive stuff too. Then he's not like focused just on the play sheet, which is good because I think coaches who do that are not very good.
Right. I would love just to go back to Kenneth Gainwell for a second. I would love if they could bring in like a true number 2 back that can take some plays off of Bucky Irvin's plate, kind of like a Tyler Algier type kind of player. Maybe they get a James Conner, they trade for James Conner or something like that, and then have Kenneth Gainwell run that pseudo Joker role that Cordell Patterson was supposed to be in Pittsburgh. I think that'd be fun.
That would be interesting. Also, if we can do a full house backfield, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm fully on board with that. Hopefully the Steelers do that. If they have Darnell Washington lining up in the backfield, they got to have something fun brewing. Like it's Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers last year, Mike McCarthy. I feel like we can go back in time to first few years together there that I think Packers ran a full house backfield.
They did. Yeah. I think that they were running it back in the day with John Kuhn, Corey Hall, what the fuck was that guy's name? Number 41, Spencer Havner caught a couple touchdowns out of the backfield. That was a fun backfield.
Yeah. I think there's a decent chance they run that. And then if they have Michael Pittman Jr. and DK Metcalf on the outside, that's a big fucking lineup.
Right. It's why I love Green Bay leagues, and I'm sure everyone who's their own team. I'm sure you're in leagues with your friends that are all fans of the same team, right? Green Bay leagues. Spencer Havner had a game where he had 2 touchdowns, I think. And he was the number 1 waiver pickup in every single league that I was in.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
That's good.
Yeah.
Those types of leagues are always fun. It's good. Anything else we want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I see here Keaton Mitchell, clear RB2. I like that. I'm a Keaton Mitchell guy. Going back to speed of suggesting a Raheem Mostert like role. Yeah, cool. That's fun. I still love a Marion Hampton there, but yeah, fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's no pressure on Marion Hampton's role. Like he's got full control.
If you're drafting a Marion Hampton second round, are you maybe willing to reach for Keaton Mitchell?
Yes. 100% yes. I'm not fully convinced. I think Keaton Mitchell gets much better without Marion Hampton.
Agreed.
I think there's a decent chance Vidal is extremely involved in Mitchell's role. Stays similar though. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody, not one person has said the name Kimani Vidal this offseason.
I know. Initially, I'm like, Mitchell came over. I like Mitchell, but I think Vidal's got the RB2 role. Sounds like that's not the case, but yeah, he's not gone.
Yeah.
Like he's there and he has the trust of Jim Harbaugh 100%. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully Hampton stays healthy and we don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I could foresee a season, week 7 talk on video or something when everyone's like, go pick up Keaton Mitchell. And I'm going to guess we're going to be like, hey, I think Vidal is probably the best bet here. You know, spend 10% of the fab and get the better option, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We talked about it yesterday. I'll say it again one more time. I'm sure there's gonna be tons of videos this year about it of Harbaugh and McDaniel together. Like I mentioned it about like in Hard Knocks where you get all these different personalities that come together because they're both really good at football. That's one of these situations where Harbaugh and McDaniel are probably 2 very different people off the field, but they both love football, and it makes incredible when they're together. It's kind of like a Brett Favre, Mike Holmgren kind of situation. I just love when there's 2 very opposite people that come together over one thing and it's awesome together.
I know. They play off each other super well too. It's very funny to just watch them interact.
Yeah.
I don't watch team YouTube channels or their social channels or anything. If they are doing their own version of Hard Knocks, though, I do want to know and watch it.
Yeah.
I think
Chargers usually have good social media, so I'm sure it's great.
Right. Yeah, there's a decent chance they do that. So I'm actually going to look that up right after we get off here. So every Wednesday night from now until after the Super Bowl, we will be live right here. Next week, you're going to see a lot of us because the draft kit launches on, is that Monday? Tuesday?
Monday is
Monday.
The 10th.
Monday. Draft kit launches. There's going to be a ton of free stuff with it. There's going to be a paid version where there's more. But if you want to just check it out without paying stuff, I think that's wise. I would do that if I were you. And then if you feel like you want to upgrade the rest of the stuff, I would do that. But we're going to have a bunch of content surrounding the draft kit, surrounding all types of fantasy draft stuff. We're going to be doing a bunch of mock drafts with our own mock draft tool, and you'll see how it's the best in the industry. We don't even need to convince you. You'll convince yourself. It'll be super easy. So we'll be back next week, and tune in to Flurry